Good evening. Welcome to the City of Joliet City Council meeting for today, Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. The Honorable Mayor Terry Darcy presiding. We will have Councilman Mudrin do the invocation as well as the Pledge of Allegiance.
Happy now?
Yeah. Now sounds good.
Thank you. But before we start, okay. Before we start, a former mayor, a couple back, his wife passed away yesterday, so I'd like to have a moment of silence for Rose Durante. Thank you, everyone. Heavenly Father, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. We thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, daily instructions. We have talents, ability, and time to work. However, only you can see the perfect detail to the end of every beginning. Every project, every session, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Your righteousness and our efforts of understanding forgive us for our pride, the pride that puffs us up and the pride that threatens to unqualify us. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from the compassion in order to work together efficiently. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of all those who we will encounter afterwards. Ready us to make every moment count. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
That was really nice.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a presentation, Joliet Police Explorers Recognition.
Mark time, march. Detail, hold. Left, face.
Good evening. We want to thank the council for allowing the Joliet Police Explorer Post 220 a short time to recognize these youth for the great work that they've done throughout the community. So in 2023, the Explorers went to a National Public Safety Cadet Summer Showdown in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There were over 146 teams that were competing in this. While the Explorers were there, they did a great job, and these are the following awards that they were awarded. They received 3rd in human trafficking, 2nd in officer rescue, 2nd in human trafficking, 2nd in felony stops, 1st in unknown trouble, 1st in felony traffic stop, We also want to recognize our cadet, Christian Silva, who received second on the written exam out of more than 400 explorers and cadets that were at the place. We also received the most amount of trophies while we were in Gatlinburg. We also went to the Wisconsin Hartford Law Enforcement Youth Challenge. There was 24 teams there. Joliet received trophies in first and second place in tactical medicine, first and third place in active attacker, first place in unknown trouble, third place in high-risk vehicle contact, and our Team 1 received the second place overall. The Joliet Police Explorers, sorry about that. The Joliet Police Explorers have done over 1,000 hours of community service throughout the city of Joliet. Our motto is, today's explorers are tomorrow's officers. And the final thing that we want to recognize is that we've had 6 of our explorers since the last time that we've been here who become police officers. And those explorers are Jorge Trujillo, Michael Pitzenberger, Alfonso Sanchez, Litzy Oliveras, Rafael Gallegos, and Jack Desiderio. So this is the Joliet Police Explorer Post 220.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hud?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
He's with the.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizens to be heard on agenda items. First is Kara Phillip regarding Council Memo 658-23 and 657-23. Okay, so Mary Beth Gannon.
Yeah. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm coming to you tonight as a concerned citizen, but pardon me, also as your town historian. By now, you've received the Inspector General's report about what happened at the museum and the prison and what all of us have been through, unfortunately. And I urge you to read it. And there's probably a lot more that's not even in it, and I'd be happy to talk to you a lot about it. When I took my job at the museum, I wasn't making a lot of money, but I didn't care because it was my passion. I love our city. I love our history. And it thrilled me to be part of a team who all got along. We all got along until about a year ago when management changed. We brought in some new management and we were pretty much terrorized. And people giving themselves raises over and over. And a lot of bad things happened. I went to our HR person. I worked with a young man in our gift shop who had autism. And some of the people sitting near me at work would, and they were managers, would routinely make fun of him every day. And when I complained to HR about it, Nothing happened. I also worked with a couple other disabled people who were regularly picked on. These people no longer work at the prison or the museum, and they were great people. They didn't deserve that. When we had our guard tours at the prison, our two guards, Mike and Ron, were pulling in $700 a day for that prison. They were making money. And when the prison makes money and the museum makes money, that's less money that the taxpayer is responsible for. And that's what we all want, right? You know, and not managers continually giving themselves pay raises. Not managers who think there's no such things as ghosts or people who are interested in ghosts, so we shouldn't have tours about it. You know, my rooftop talks, I brought in a bigger crowd than my talks on history brought in a bigger crowd than our rooftop concerts. And I suggested over and over again, why don't we charge for these? No, no, no. Even though we'd run out of chairs when I did my talk on Al Baskin's. And I got Shel Baskin's kids to come in. You know, when I did Boston store, we ran out of chairs in that building. It was a good thing. And if we just charged maybe $5 a head, it would have made them a lot of money that day. We sold a lot of memberships, but no. I also suggested getting sponsors like Mr. Darcy. You know, it's a poor mismanagement of money over there and a loss of potential resources. Please read that report. I think there's going to be legal action over the way these people were treated. Don't be surprised about it. When we have a chance to turn things around, and I think it'd be great if we had new management there, I would love to be able to come back. I would love to be able to do my talk on the history of Fehrenbachers. I'd already started working on it. The history of the Gory Gillespie years, of Joliet Catholic. You know, so many things, and it's not gonna happen now. And they're supposedly out money, but they got money to go buy the launching pad and a Dairy Queen. You know, put the money, invest in your people, you know? And I don't know, something needs to change there. And the way these people, my friends, were treated was terrible. You know, when I went to our HR person, I went there in confidence. I was told that what I disclosed privately would not be shared with the people I had complained about, and it was. And after that, I had a target on my back. So let's get this museum going in the right direction. These people all have a tremendous passion for what they do. And we all know how to get along here. You know, don't let one or two people ruin a great thing for our whole community. Thank you.
Kara Phillip. Hi, Mayor and council members. My name is Kara Phillip, and I am one of those volunteers. Like a lot of my fellow volunteers, I was there for years. And there most every Saturday, cleaning, opening areas for tours, cleaning out those galleries. I first saw the prison when it was in operation in the 80s. I would drive with my mom to work and I thought, wow, that looks amazing. I finally saw that there was a volunteer day I was able to go to, and it was just amazing that I can help preserve, help clean, help be a part of this historic site and the city. And I have gladly, like a lot of my fellow volunteers, given that time. We aren't there anymore, but in the meantime, we certainly did, like was already mentioned, the guard tours, the money that has been lost for that, and all kinds of tours. Paranormal, Mary Beth Ann brought in, those are what are close to my heart personally. And those were at least $12.50 a tour, you know, run mostly by volunteers. So that's a lot of money lost that they're asking you for in this grant. I have a lot more tours too. The Prison After Dark tours were canceled. And those were about 25 people on average, 3 times a week. Those people would pay $40 a tour to come be part of the prison. All the general history tours were canceled as of May 29th, and those are running 6 tours a week. The guard tours were all canceled once the guards were no longer there. Those again were making money. Kind of concerned with the leadership asking you for money and saying the point isn't to make money. That doesn't seem like strong leadership and doesn't seem like where the city of Joliet should be putting their money. I heard a comment at the finance meeting when they were talking saying we have to give this $100,000 earmarked for the prison because somebody needs to run it. It needs to be open. That's there's more than one person in this town that can look at running the prison. This isn't the only way we have to do it. We don't have to give this money to somebody that is mismanaging it and just canceling tours and getting rid of volunteers. And I just want to be able to get back, like Mary Beth and everybody else, to this place we love and to make the city of Joliet pretty great. And I think we can if we're given the chance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan Phillip?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm Dan Phillip. I'm also one of the band volunteers. And I don't want to rehash too much, and I'm not an accountant, but those numbers look pretty funky on that sheet the other day. Mostly I want to talk about some ethical concerns that I have that the city's, implicitly involved with JAM and with the leadership there. The purge of, 13 people over an ego, I suppose. The Inspector General report, I'm sure, delves real far into it. But at the end of the day, an ego got hurt and 13 people who had spent years, some 16 years as volunteers, were let go. Seems weird. I don't know what happened between the Blues Brothers Con and March of 2023, but something happened. On Blues Brothers Con, we were welcomed, we were part of the team, we were thanked, we were introduced to Tom Bones Malone and entertained him for hours. And then suddenly in March, we're all suspended. No reason given. And all I could think was, we didn't do anything. It was over the winter. Why are we suspended? There was no interaction. And then it started to make a little bit of sense. The president of the board for Joliet Area Historical Museum would routinely, be at those events, driving clearly intoxicated with a drink in his hand and a cigarette, driving through the crowd, to the point that he was passed out on a bench after one of these events. Whatever instigated the purge of the 13 people couldn't possibly have warranted that kind of action and ruining reputations. And to me, to pass the resolutions that are on the board right now is to tacitly approve the behavior of the leadership of Joliet Area Historical Museum. So I beg you to not approve their behavior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Good evening, Quinn Adamowski, president of the museum, and I'm just going to disregard the disparaging comments we just heard. I'm not going to talk about staffing tonight because you don't do that in public, period, full stop. People have a problem with how we operate the museum, we can do that in private. We are an independent board. The staff answers to the board. We have a high-level board that's very invested in this organization and we do our oversight of everything that takes place. I am curious, we have been asking for months to understand what was going on with the IG report, and yet a private citizen apparently knows about said IG report and has seen it. Can someone please explain to me how someone who's not being investigated knows that this report's finalized, and yet we haven't even had a chance to look at it or talk with anybody about it? And that's how we're gonna do this? After months of the staff's time being wasted putting together documents based on false charges. It's just ridiculous. This is the 3rd largest city and the 6th largest state. We are a nonprofit organization. We've done yeoman's work to protect and promote our cultural resources, including the prison, including 1314 Elizabeth, including Dairy Queen. Yes, and including in conversation about Gemini Giant, which broke Herald News Facebook, by the way. We brought in $10 million in federal and state money. We have mobilized at the prison. I think that what we're doing speaks for itself. And so, no, I don't want to engage in public, but I'm not going to sit here and have people come up in a public setting, come to a group, and yes, there is a grant on the agenda for consideration, but with respect, we don't report to you. We're an independent organization. And if these folks have a problem with the way that we're acting, that's fine. They're entitled to feel that way. But to disparage that organization, my organization, our organization, for what? Those of you who have been involved know what we're doing. And I'm looking at you guys. We've had conversations. Some of you have been on the board. I'm not too concerned with what has been said tonight as it relates to what you each think independently. My concern is, and this has always been my concern since this ridiculous IG report thing started, we're an institution in Joliet that's leading the way in culture and arts. Every time something like this happens, all we're doing is hurting ourselves, and it doesn't make any sense. I would challenge everyone in this room to point to something that we've done or we haven't done that has not been high level, that has not brought real pride to this city with all the, countless hours of work. And yes, it is true that we did have people volunteering. And again, I'm not going to get into the reasons why this is no longer a thing. We brought a governor's hometown award here for our volunteer activities. We have the respect of state officials. I feel that if we can get the respect there, and we're doing this wonderful work that other people see, that our own hometown and our elected representatives see it as well. Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Let me raise this a little bit. Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff. My name is Scott Paddock. I'm the Senior Vice President of External Affairs for Silver Cross Hospital. And I'm here simply to lend our support to the ordinance requesting a special use permit allowing Volunteers of America, Illinois, to build an opioid addiction supportive living facility on our former campus. And I'd just like to make 2 points, if I may. One is we at Silver Cross have tremendous admiration and respect for Volunteers of America, Illinois, and the mission and the important work that they do. We have tremendous confidence in their president and CEO, Nancy Hughes, who is here this evening, and her track record of success and her passion for this project. And I will tell you that we are incredibly proud of how our former campus has been reimagined and repurposed to serve as a great resource for this community and serving the needs of Joliet residents. When you look at the VA clinic that is there, when you look at Hope Manor VA housing, Aunt Martha's, a federally qualified health center that focuses on primary care and behavioral health, it is a tremendous success story. Instead of that facility being property being abandoned, it is serving a great community need, and this project will do more of the same. So I'm here representing our 3,000 employees, our medical staff, our board of directors, and our volunteers to lend our support behind this important project. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak on an agenda item? Seeing none, we'll move on to appointments. First tonight, the mayor is recommending Kelly Roder-Tonelli and Aaron Bottomley be reappointed to the library board. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
It's been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas,
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Also, the mayor is recommending Riley Spreadberry be appointed to the Committee on Citizens with Disabilities. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is council committee reports, land use and legislative committee report.
Okay, land use met here in council chambers at 4:30 this evening on December 5th. And the committee is myself as chair, Councilman Reardon, and Councilman Guerrero. We had quite the agenda this evening, one of them being the honorary street name request for E. Maud Avenue between Richard Street and Neal for Denise Winfrey. They want to call it Denise Winfrey Way. An ordinance adopting the parking lot lighting regulations, street opening and pavement restorations, and these were quite extensive explanations, so we're gonna have our attorney, Chris Regis, explain all those.
Hi, everyone. What the ordinance adopting the parking lot lighting regulations does is codify our existing administrative procedures regarding parking lot lighting, and what we do is we mandate that the lighting be configured in such a way as to minimize and/or reduce light pollution to the people around the business and in other locations inside the city. So we're codifying those internal regulations. The ordinance adopting the street opening and pavement restoration regulations. The goal behind that is to minimize the amount of damages that private utilities do to our public roadways. Sometimes they have to dig into the streets to service and/or relocate their lines, and we're putting tighter restrictions on when and where they can do that, how often they can do it, and the amount of repairs that they have to do after they're done with it. So this should go a long way in keeping our streets in much better condition. You want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
Okay. The ordinance declaring the city of Joliet exempt from the Paid Leave Act. The first of the year, in a few weeks, the state of Illinois has passed a law that's going into effect, essentially that mandates that every employer in the state of Illinois grant a minimum of 40 hours of paid leave to their employees. The city of Joliet currently has CBAs in place, as well as an exempt employee ordinance that lays out our framework for paid time off. Everybody here gets paid time off. We get in excess of 40 hours a year. So the best thing for us to do is exempt ourselves from that state statute to avoid any layer of confusion in the way our time off program is administered. The final item was the amendments to the Joliet tobacco relations. It's been publicized that the new mayor has made it a priority to increase enforcement of tobacco violations, particularly vape pens being sold to high school students. What the amendments do is create a new regulatory framework for vape dispensers so we can identify locations at which these are being sold. And then number two, an increased enforcement mechanism so we can more effectively and more robustly enforce violations of that code. All these items were recommended to be advanced to the full council by the legislative committee.
Thank you, sir. And anybody want to add anything else to that?
No.
That concludes our report.
Thank you.
Public Safety Committee report.
Okay, Public Safety met here in council chambers this evening on December 5th at 5:30, and we discussed purchases for the fire department. First of all, on the agenda was 8 self-contained breathing apparatus for $52,720. Purchase of 4 power loaders for the Joliet Fire Department, and it's going to help reduce some injuries with these power loaders at a cost of $55,387.52. Purchase of life pack CR2 defibrillators for the Joliet Fire Department from Stryker Medical in the amount of $35,577.54. And the purchase of Knox boxes for City of Joliet businesses from Knox Company in the amount of $46,831. Number 5, this was the police department, the sole source purchase of drive test scanner system upgrade and associated hardware for the Joliet Police Department Investigations Division. And then we talked about ordinances, which is ordinance amending the 2023 budget for 2 new fire engine purchases. The original budget was $1.1 million, but when they went to go look at the new fire engines, there had to be some tweaks made and some minor changes to upgrade them to what they are needed at a cost of about $200,000 to round it off. So that's what it's going to be amended to, about $157,000 or close to 200. And the other good news was they went to the high schools and they are enforcing the quick CPR and showing the kids how to use the AEDs, which is helping many, many folks. You want to add to it, Joe?
Can the chief come up and briefly talk about the
Sure.
2 success stories?
Come on up.
While he comes, I just want to mention too, they trained 6,000 residents this year, which was great.
Residents overall.
Yep.
In the quick CPR.
Yes, I know that's something that Councilman Clement was passionate about. We worked on last year. We started an AED program where we aim to train all our residents in handling CPR and AED usage. So we did get 6,000 residents. We just finished at Joliet West, Joliet Central, training 1,600 freshmen. But 2 weeks ago, we had 2 AED life saves in 1 week in Joliet. One was from employees at Cornerstone. They had a person go down, 2 employees grab the AED, shock from choice. By the time the patient was in the ambulance, the patient was awake and talking. Later on that week, we had an off-duty firefighter who was working out at a local gym over at Theodore and 59. He noticed somebody on a treadmill hunched over, ran over, grabbed the AED, put the AED on him. AED shocked him 1 time. By the time the ambulance got there, he was awake and talking. So those are kind of the stories that we see a lot of, that why we're trying to really push AEDs in the community. The more we can get out there, the more lives we can save. Because if you receive a shock within 1 minute of cardiac arrest with AED, you have a 90% chance of survival. So the more we can get out there in our community, the more we can train people in it. We're hoping to keep seeing these type of results. Any questions? All right.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. And that would conclude our report for public safety. And these items are going to go on the December 18th, 19th council meeting. Yes?
That's the plan.
Okay. For council review. Thank
Public-
you.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service Committee met yesterday at 4:30 p.m. here in council chambers. On the committee and in attendance was Councilman Guerrero, who I thank for allowing me to borrow his iPad right now as mine was malfunctioning. Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Mudrin and myself. It was a pretty routine agenda. We had 8 contracts we looked at, and generally they covered such things as the SCADA or SCADA monitoring, digital monitoring system for public utilities, water and sewer, a contract for drinking water, quality, compliance testing. So I'm not going to list and discuss each of the routine contracts because we did vet all of them. I will point out that we looked at a contract to let people know that we're doing in 2023 what we moving forward to 2024. We're going to continue to finish up 2023. We awarded contract C for road resurfacing under the 2023 budget moving forward for just under $3 million, and contract D for just over $3 million. So that's good news. There's going to be more streets that are going to be resurfaced, at that $18 million clip. We had 3 change orders, payouts, and final payments. Nothing to get excited about here. We did get a $15,000 credit back on the roadway project for Eastern Avenue and Washington Street from the contractor. We looked at all 3 of those, again vetted them, and found them to be in order. The other thing I neglected to mention on the contract portion of our agenda, we did table award of contract for the 2023-2024 tree trimming and removal contract to our next meeting. We had some questions on how it was rolled out, and we wanted to bring all the stakeholders, the tree advisory board, the committee, staff, and contractors together and see if we can clean it up a bit moving forward. So it will eventually, we will do our tree trimming, but we just wanted to get it right the first time. Then, under the ordinances resolutions, we too did look at the parking lot lighting regulations ordinance. I'm not gonna rehash what's already been perfectly explained by our council. The other thing we looked at was an ordinance adopting the street opening and pavement restoration regulations. What that means is we have where we'll put in, resurface, or we're resurfacing a lot more streets. We'll resurface the streets. We'll give staff will give, Public Works will give good heads up to the private utilities. When I say utilities, it's not our public utilities department, it's a ComEd or, Northern Illinois Gas. Sometimes they'll get in there before we do it. Other times they want to do it at their own pace. And then a year after we put this beautiful new street in, they're coming in to do their capital improvements projects and cutting up the newly paved street, which is not good for the street, unless it's an emergency. So this excludes emergencies. This doesn't mean that if NIGAS has an emergency where they have to cut into the street to solve the problem. This is for their capital improvements or expansion projects. So the ordinance outlines the regulations that, for instance, a brand new street that is done and they're given due notice if they want to get in on it before it's resurfaced, then we're not going to allow them to cut into it other than emergencies for 10 years. Because it does harm streets, it creates cracks and seams in these new streets, and that expedites the deterioration through the freeze and thaw and freeze cycles and the like. So other than that, the rest of the ordinance and resolutions were predominantly housekeeping for the contracts. When you recommend that the contract be awarded, you also need to recommend that the city pay for that contract, whether it be from MFT funds or from the budget. So unless I missed anything, Councilman Mudrin, Councilman Guerrero, I think that's pretty much fine. So that would be my report. And again, thank you, Councilman. You helped me out of a bind here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Larry.
I show no other reports. Moving on, under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on November 20th, 2023, and the minutes of the council meeting held on November 21st, 2023, stand approved as recorded. Invoices to be paid. It's recommended this report be approved. Council Memo 635-23, award of contract for the 2024-2025 citywide newsletter to Liberty Creative Solutions in the amount of $201,528. Council Memo 636-23, purchase of anti-icing, de-icing fluids for the 2023-2024 snow removal season. Council Memo 637-23, award of professional services contract for the underground storage tank design, installation, and startup for the Cass Street Fuel Station and Cedarwood Fuel Station to Petroleum Technologies Equipment in the amount of $1,519,925. Council Memo 638-23, award of professional service agreement for the Spring Creek Siphon Preliminary Engineering to Seco Consultants in the amount of $43,660. Council Memo 639-23, professional services agreement for the development of Project Docs E-Plan for the City of Joliet to Evolve Software in the amount of $72,483.75. Council Memo 640-23, approve repairs to the well 12D pump to Lane Christensen Company in the amount of $31,416. Council Memo 641-23, approve repairs to the 2006 VacCon Sewer Jetter Vacuum Combo Truck to EJ Equipment in the amount of $55,097.75. Council Memo 642-23, change order number 1 for the 2023 sidewalk curb replacement program, contract C to J&J Newell Concrete Contractors in the amount of $39,216. Council Memo 643-23, change order number 1 for the Lawrence Avenue Lift Station Rehabilitation to J.S. Albarico Construction Company in the amount of negative $14,760. Council Memo 644-23, change order number 1 for the 2022 Sanitary Rehabilitation Program to Performance Pipelining in the amount of negative $619,402.10, and final payment number 9 in the amount of $293,293.53. Council Memo 645-23, change order number 2 for the 2022 electrical maintenance assistance contract to Van Meck Electric in the amount of $64,120, and payment request number 7 in the amount of $67,664. Council Memo 646-23, change order number 3 for the lead water service line replacement Phase 3C project to Stiff Brothers Excavating in the amount of $151,745.40. Council Memo 647-23, change order number 3 for the 2023 sidewalk curb replacement project, Contract A to Davis Concrete Construction in the amount of $13,385. Council Memo 648-23, change order number 8 for the 2021 sanitary rehabilitation program to Performance Pipelining in the amount of negative $489,538.07. And final payment number 17 in the amount of $735,092. And Council Memo 649-23, payment number 4 and final for the 2022 resurfacing contract C to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $614,335.48. It's recommended Council Memo 635-23 through 649-23 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So move.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances, Council Memo 651-23, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a women's opioid addiction supportive living facility located at 1301 Copperfield Avenue. Staff is recommending said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Before
Second.
we get going on this, I have to abstain from this vote.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
No.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
No.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Because it far exceeds our density ordinance, no.
Motion carried 5-3. The mayor abstained. Next is Council Memo 652-23, an ordinance amending Chapter 12, Section 13 of the Code of Ordinances on Ambulance Service and Fees. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 654-23, a resolution approving community development block grant agreement with Catholic Charities, Diocese of Joliet, Daybreak Emergency Shelter. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 655-23, a resolution approving community development block grant subrecipient agreement with Will Grundy Medical Center. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 656-23, a resolution approving community development block grant subrecipient agreement with court-appointed special advocacy, CASA. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 657-23, a resolution approving a grant to the Joliet Area Historical Museum. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
You know, things that have been said here today, I think we need to start digging into, read the Inspector General's report. We need to dig into what's going on. There has to be some, truth to something going on. We have issues there. So, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna vote no.
Point of order, Mayor, I'd like to table this until we look into it further.
I second that.
657 and 658. Just to be sure what's happening over there. I think we should table both of those.
I can rescind my, vote.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay.
Do you have a specific date that you would like the items tabled to?
Well, we do have an Inspector General report coming up, and we haven't really looked at that whole thing yet, so I just think that's kind of rather important.
We have it.
We haven't? Well, okay. I didn't get to read it then. I read some of it, but I didn't get the whole thing. But I just think since all this controversy, just to settle things down, I mean, what's another 2 weeks or till January? I mean, what's your pleasure, Mayor? To
Well,
table
60 days, we can bring it in sooner if we want, but that gives a little.
Yeah, let's get some investigating there, just to make sure everything is clear. So table for 60 days then.
So the first meeting in January is January 2nd.
Yeah.
So table to, okay. So there's a motion to table Council Memo 657-23 to January 2nd. Is there a second?
Question?
Second.
Question, did we say 60 days or are we going 30?
60.
Oh, you said 60. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, I will. I'm not good at math, but I'm good at figuring.
So February 6th.
Fine. Thank you.
So there's a motion to table Council Memo 657-23, which is a resolution approving a grant to the Joliet Historical Museum to the February 6th council meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motion seconded to table. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
No.
Councilman Hug?
Aye. You should tell him that.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
No.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
No.
Councilman Cardenas?
No.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried 5-4. Council Memo 657-23 is tabled to the February 6th council meeting. Next is Council Memo 658-23, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with the Joliet Area Historical Museum.
Move to table.
Second.
6.
Mayor, just a point of clarification. So this resolution is just the agreement we have with the museum relative to the operation of the facility in the building, not the funding, and the current agreement expires at the end of this year. So tabling it would leave us in not having an agreement with them to operate the museum.
Mayor, question, Ron, is this a lease? We're talking about the lease essentially?
No, it's just an intergovernmental agreement between the two bodies.
Chris, what happens if we table it for 60 days?
Then the museum operates without an agreement from the city. And on paper, it seems like it doesn't matter. However, in our agreement with the museum, there are contingencies built into it if things do happen to the physical structure on the building, and it's best if that agreement stays in place.
Okay, then I'll rescind my table. On 658.
Is there a motion to,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
it's been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 658-23, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with the Joliet Area Historical Museum. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
No.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-1. Next is Council Memo 659-23, a resolution authorizing the execution of an amendment to a lease agreement between the City of Joliet and Will County regarding 10 South Chicago Street. Staff is recommending said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrum.
Aye.
Councilwoman Pullman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 660-23, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a collective bargaining agreement with the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council and Joliet Police Supervisors Association for 2023 through 2025. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Yeah, just, if I have the floor.
Sure.
Just a quick recap on what took place yesterday. This is a 69-page document. I didn't have a chance to read it. This thing was sent out late Thursday. I didn't know it was coming. I don't think anybody else did. We have a new city manager that's coming in a handful of days. And I appreciate you, Mayor, agreeing with me yesterday. I think we should table, this agreement till we have our new city manager, who's going to be here in a few days to look this over. These are, like I said last night, these are big deals. These contracts are big. And how do we know this doesn't trigger any other openers for any other body, union body? I'm asking my colleagues, what's another few weeks, 3 weeks, month, whatever it takes to have our new city manager look at this contract? And we've had all these closed session meetings, and not one time did we talk about this that I can recall. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I would like to have some questions, or ask some questions, but we didn't have that opportunity. I opened this up Saturday. I was unable to open the tab to read the contract, and there's others here that can confirm that. And it's just the way it is. But I'm asking my colleagues to table this for till our new city manager can read this. So that's where I'm at.
Once again, before the vote, I have to abstain for conflict of interest.
Mayor, I have some questions also. I don't know if it's appropriate to ask them here or we should go into closed session, but there's quite a bit on the table here because I'm afraid of other grievances coming in from the other unions and the Me Too clause that could be in effect here, and going back to people that are already retired, and that could affect that. And it's going to cost a lot of money here. So I would have to agree with the table, but I would hope it would go forward so that we could get our questions answered.
I would certainly suggest that we don't talk about it publicly because it's only a TA.
Well, I understand, but I'm just saying.
Right. It's a negotiation still, so we need to do that in executive session.
And Mayor, we do have Jim Powers with us tonight, the attorney that represented the city on our side of the negotiations from Clark Baird Smith. So if you do have questions, again, appropriate that we do that in executive session, but he's available to do that tonight as well.
It should have been done a long time ago.
Is there a motion on the table, Joe?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, it's fine to ask the questions if nobody read this. Everybody read the 69-page contract? Everybody read it. I highly doubt it. This is a big deal. I'm asking for a table. I'm making a motion for, if there's no more discussion, I'd like to have a table. And again, if this was any other bargaining unit, I would say the exact same thing. This thing's being driven down our throats in the 11th and a half hour. What's another month?
I would make a second to the councilman's motion to table.
If there's no more discussion, I make a motion to table this.
I would second that.
Do you have a specific date for the tabling?
I would like to have our new city manager review it and then report back to us in closed session. So I don't know what the date would be.
May I suggest we do 30 days, because if we need more time, we can do that again later, and if we do it sooner, which I doubt, but if we do it sooner, we can bring it back sooner.
Correct.
Is that okay, Councilman? 30 days.
So that would be the first meeting in January, would be January 2nd. Been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 660-23 to the January 2nd council meeting. Councilwoman Ibarra?
No.
Councilman Mudrin?
No.
Councilwoman Coleman?
This is too important to rush into this without any information. This has never happened before. I'm voting aye. Table.
Councilwoman Reardon?
No.
Councilman Cardenas?
No.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Wait a second. Did I not vote to table this, or did I vote to postpone it?
You voted to table.
Okay, that's what I was like, fine, thank you. Too much going on here tonight.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
It's 4-4. So the motion fails.
Motion fails.
I mean, Mr. Mayor, you could vote on a table. And
I'm not gonna vote, Joe.
Okay.
Is there another motion that anyone would like to make?
Would you like to make a motion to go into closed session to discuss it with the attorney?
I'd be okay with that.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded to go into closed session to discuss collective bargaining, after which the meeting will reconvene. Apologize. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy? Motion carried.
Aye.
Meeting is now reconvened at 7:58 PM with full council. Going back to Council Memo 660-23, it's a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a collective bargaining agreement with the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council and Joliet Police Supervisors Association for 2023 through 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman?
Motion was made.
Approved.
It's a tough one, okay? I don't like the way this went down. It was negotiated by an incompetent city manager. We were never informed of this. We were blindsided by it. 69 pages of a contract where not everyone on this council has read. I'm not against the police department. My husband's a retired police officer. And majorly, I think, again, I agree with some of my council folks up here, that the new city manager should be the one to negotiate this contract. She's coming in, and we all agreed to this new person, and she's coming in here, and not only is this gonna be difficult for her, but she also has 3 new employees that are coming in after we asked to put a hiring freeze on it. But again, the city manager that we have interim has defied us. It's defied us all along, and I just can't, that's just unacceptable to me. And he TA'd this without even telling us about this. We've always been informed of a TA. And sat there probably last night with my authority, that's what he said. So I guess we have no authority up here. So on that note, I'm gonna have to vote no.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Yeah, again, I don't wanna rehash everything, everybody up here knows what I said. This thing's being rammed down. I just wanted a new city manager to look at this contract. They waited a year, they've been negotiating, they TA'd on this thing in October, or whatever it was. We never heard about any of this until it was sent out Thursday. I just want another set of eyes on this, that's it. Again, I'm a former police officer, I support all those guys, but you know, that's where I stand, so I vote no.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
The tabling could have gotten, I think, everybody maybe to a yes. I had my concerns. We briefly looked at them. Somewhere, a couple were reinforced. I've always been about contract negotiations in the city, that each unit gets the same fair increase, and I don't see that here. And I wish we had honored Councilman Clement's request to table it, to look it over. I've read the entire almost 70 pages, and I'm not an expert, so I have to have a couple of 2-3 other reads too, and ask questions, and we're just not afforded that time. To clarify, Councilman Clement, apparently the TA was September 9th, I think they said, and we just heard about it Thursday, so I have to vote no.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Motion carried 5-3, the mayor abstained. Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
Good evening. Beth Corsetti, nurse at St. Joe's. Thank you all for allowing us to speak again. I just wanted to give you a quick update. When we just got back from our strike, when we came back to work, our fellow non-nursing coworkers were thrilled to see us. Doctors were saying, thank God you guys are back. We really missed you. We really needed you guys here. We did not get the same response from management. Instead, what over 80 nurses found was that our paychecks were short by hundreds, and some nurses even by thousands of dollars. Ascension St. Joe's CNO, Margaret Carroll, decided that nurses were not to be paid for any incentive shifts during the weeks of November 12th through the 25th. Incentive shifts are shifts that we pick up extra, that we are promised $30 extra an hour to help our coworkers, to help our community. go through this staffing crisis until we can get more staff, till we can get more nurses. So this is an incentive for all of us. It helps both parties. They decided, Margaret Carroll or Ascension Management, upper management decided that we were not to get those. We worked those hours. We promised we'd work those hours. We worked those hours, and we were not paid for those hours that we worked. Those hours are hours that we picked up that are over what we are already required to work. So the stresses of the hospital that are already there with us on a day-to-day basis, we're still going ahead and picking up extra hours to help out where we can. So we're taking our time away from our loved ones to work those extra hours to help care for our community and to help our fellow nurses and aides. Once again, as you guys know, we haven't had a raise in over 3 years. We've had no cost of living increase or anything. Like I said, it was promised. I myself am missing $800 from my paycheck. One of my coworkers was almost in tears. She picked up so many extra shifts just to get her through Christmas. She's the breadwinner in her family, and she was devastated. Her check was like $1,300 short. This is just 80 nurses that we know about as of right now. So I am asking, we're here, thank you again for all of your support. We appreciate all you guys and all that you do. We see as tonight, you guys, struggle along with negotiations. It sounds like, it's hard, so we're stuck in the middle of this negotiation. But what we are asking is maybe if there's anything that mayor and city council men and women can do within your power, is to maybe make a public statement or call on IDPH somehow, and or the Health Facilities Service Review Board to do their job. We've called IDPH to come to the hospital. We've filed grievance after grievance after grievance, and they have not come to hold Ascension accountable. They do not impose the fines that they're by law supposed to carry out. Every hospital in the state has to go through the Health Facilities Services Review Board in order to close any beds in hospital. This hospital, Ascension, has closed one ICU at St. Joe's. They've closed half of our PCU beds. They've decreased our ED beds by 40%. Right now, and then somebody else is going to talk about labor and delivery. That's looking like that's going to close down, and finding out dialysis tonight is down to 5 nurses total. So we're just asking if you guys can please, if there's any way, shape, or form, make these, call on these government bodies to be, let's hold them accountable for what they should be doing for our community, for our community's hospital. Thanks.
Thank you again for giving us this continued space to come and speak to you guys about the things we've been dealing with at our hospital. We continue to bargain with Ascension. We have our negotiations resuming this Friday the 8th. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to have negotiations since November 17th. Each time we have negotiations, we ask to meet weekly, a couple times a week, no response. For the last month and a half, we've been meeting virtually. They don't want to meet with us in person, even though that was our agreed upon terms when we started negotiating in May. I think, like Beth said, we'd like to ask each and every one of you to use your power and your resources to not only help the nurses at St. Joe's, but the community it serves. IDPH has not been holding Ascension responsible for their violations. They have full authority to impose fines, and they have not. Furthermore, it's very unsettling to nurses here for us to be so underwhelmingly understaffed. However, when IDPH is in the house, we suddenly have staff. How can our hospital be better when our leadership has turned a blind eye to the problems? How can IDPH, a body that is designed to keep the public safe, give the hospital a heads up that they're arriving? We have patients that have been sleeping in the hallways of our ED for days because there's not enough staff on the inpatient units to care for them. We have patients being inappropriately placed on other floors due to lack of ICU and PCU's beds. As leaders of this town, I ask that you use any power you may have to protect the people of this community from Ascension. Ascension, who claims to be a Catholic institution, whose CEO, Joe Impesci, would rather pay himself bonuses than hire nurses, whose former president, Christopher Stride, looked me in the eye and said that we were safely staffed without safety concerns, and Margaret Carroll, who most recently denied over 80 nurses, including myself, incentive pay. Ascension, a healthcare corporation that would rather save money than lives. And then I'd like to briefly speak on, Andy Miller is an LDRP nurse. She wasn't able to be with us tonight because she's working, and she just asked me to read a statement. My name is Andrea Miller, and I have spoken to you all before. I work in labor and delivery at St. Joe's. Our working conditions are dire, and as a part-time employee, I'm adding enough hours to get a good amount of overtime. Not due to my desire to work so much, but not to leave my coworkers stranded. That's where I am now, in fact, therefore unable to speak in person. I've been picking up extra shifts to work like crazy. We are short by at least 3 full-time positions. It's very hard, not only as staff from within our unit, but other nurses are unable to pick up and help us. Many nurses have left due to these poor conditions and the financial gain by leaving. I don't work midnights, but due to 2 nurses calling off, I had to work a midnight shift, with incentive being offered. I was rather excited to see my check. My manager gave me a heartfelt hug and a thank you for staying. I unfortunately did not get my incentive for this shift or any other extra shift that I picked up. Margaret Carroll brought it upon herself to refuse the incentive that was offered to get these shifts. My effort should have been worth nearly $800 pre-tax. This feels vindictive. Our previous strike, the incentive shifts were honored. The morale at St. Joe's is deteriorating fast. It's so hard to watch our home crumble. We are in need of outside help. Please call IDPH out. Make them do their jobs and uphold the law. Our entire city is at stake. Thank you. Andrea Miller. Thank you, guys.
I believe that the fact that there's no government oversight upon Ascension is our issue. How far can they go? What more can they do? They are deplorable and incorrigible. The fact that nurses work 12-hour shifts, 3 of them, they then pick up hours over and above those 3 24-hour shifts, and then they find that they are not going to be paid. How is that acceptable? Who is going to step up and defend the working class person? And I hate to say that maybe because we're predominantly, and this is me, female profession, that they feel that they can just walk all over us and ignore the quality care that we provide to this city and the surrounding area and Will County. Patients come to us because we deliver quality care. When we came back after the strike, I work in recovery room. My patient's waking up from anesthesia and they're grabbing my hand and thanking me for being there, to be that quality care provider. That's all they kept saying all day long. Thank you, I am so glad that you are back and here to care for me. Well, who cares for us? Who is going to stand up and defend us? How do you, in the United States of America, have the ability to not pay for services already rendered? It is totally retaliation and degradation. And then for them to be a Catholic hospital, I've been a Catholic all my life. I went to Catholic school. And yet I've tried to reach the bishop. I find that we have a lawyer that addresses nursing issues. I didn't know that, but I still haven't talked to him. But I'm not going to stop trying. And we've written him letters. He did send one letter that he couldn't be involved. This is about a Catholic institution and the principles, and they're always holding us accountable for the mission, the vision, and the values of Ascension. Well, where are they reciprocated when it comes to the worker who comes in there every day, does their job, and does a quality job to care for the people of Joliet and Will County? Who is going to stand up for us? Who is going to bite the bullet, throw down the gauntlet, and defend us? We have done everything within our power and then some. We have gone all the way up to the Senate, to the House of Representatives. We went to Chicago and talked to the representatives and legal people up there. And yet here we are. They just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. So now you're going to not pay people for hours worked? How is that acceptable? I know you wouldn't stand for it if it was you and your family. But that's what's happening to us. And every time we blink, it's one more thing. I ask, what is Ascension up to? What are they planning? And why don't they care about this people in the city of Joliet and Will County? Thank you.
I'm gonna speak for all of us if I might. We're on your side, and let me find out legislatively who we can touch that can help us reach IDPH, the people that govern the hospitals. Because we need you to get that kind of help. They need to do their job to oversee what's not being done right. So I think I can speak for all of us that we'll work with you to try and find someone in the state level to help us help you. Because this is just not right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, before you go, can I ask Pat really quickly a question?
Sure.
I got a message from an email from one of my constituents who says that her oncologist and her mother's oncologist, they're leaving. Is that something you know, that doctors are leaving now?
We haven't heard that, but they have been
Okay.
continuously for like what, over the last year or so.
Doctors have been leaving, yes.
Yes, because they treat them almost as bad as they do us.
Okay.
And they can't practice effectively because they're held accountable to their patients as well. And again, these are lives we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just about money. In fact, that's the last thing. It's about sustaining life and caring for life. And it's just being tossed aside.
And it doesn't only affect the city of Joliet, it affects the entire region.
Exactly.
And just to like add, as you said, oncologists are leaving. I'm not sure if you guys were aware. So St. Joe's and other hospitals, they can use what's called palliative services. So palliative hospice services, so end of life, comfort care. We had palliative in our hospital for the last couple of years. We actually use our palliative care team more than any other Ascension hospital in the state. As of 2 days ago, that was taken away. Ascension took those services away from us. So imagine you have family members who really should be receiving palliative and hospice care. Those were the people that would come in and talk to the families and really give goals of care and kind of figure out what the quality of life is. Those people are gone. Those are valuable services to the hospital that Ascension decided, nope, we'd like to save more money, goodbye. It's painful. And I understand people could say, well, just don't go there. You don't have to go there. You can go to Silver, you can go to Morris, you can go to any other hospital but St. Joe's. But that is not a luxury that people have. It's just not. And at this point, when you have patients afraid to go there because they have no other option, because they're at the mercy of a corporation who really doesn't care about anything but making a profit. Also, we are having a picket tomorrow, an informational picket from 3:15 to dark, and we're going to proceed that by a car rally. We hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to take a moment just to say thank you for getting us heat when we were on strike. Bless you all because we were freezing. I actually caught myself on fire. Effigy, nurse, safe patient care. I'm all into that. But thank you, Mayor and the board. We worked really diligently to provide that for us, and we're so grateful for that. So thank you so much.
And the signs are on Western Avenue, if you haven't been past there.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else to speak under public comments? Next is mayor and council comments.
First I would just like to extend my condolences to the past mayor, Tom Durrani, on the loss of his wife, Rosemarie, and just to keep the Durrani family in your prayers. And then last, I would like to just thank Rod Tonelli for taking on the challenging interim city manager job, which I know it wasn't an easy one. It's a difficult job as we've seen it go. But I appreciate everything that you've done in here. And I know your passion for Joliet was there, which was the reason why you did it. And I just wish you nothing but the best on the future endeavors that you do.
Thank you.
I think you stole my notes.
Yeah, I copied your
Rod, best of luck to you. Thank you for all you did for the city of Joliet, and I appreciate it.
Thank you,
And then again, to the Girardi family, my condolences. Very, very sorry for your loss.
I don't want to be repetitive here and keep going through the same motions. Mr. Stanley, thank you for your time. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other still around the city. Of course, our condolences to the Girani family. Nothing else from me. So.
Thank you, Rod, and condolences to the entire Girani family.
So I attended Small Business Saturday, and it was really fun to see how much the downtown area had to offer. I went to It's Amazing Boutique, Internode, Jitters, Rock and Roll Museum, Wayward, Strange and Unusual Gallery, Prison City Vintage, Cut 158. It was such a good time. There is no reason to travel to other municipalities. No offense to any other municipality, when we have all of this in the city of Joliet in downtown on a Saturday, and it was lively and it was fun and the downtown area felt alive. So I'm very excited about that. I also want to thank Jan Nahorsky Graffiti Abatement. This is how the city of Joliet is supposed to work. I was driving on my birthday and I saw in my district the stop sign with some kind of gang graffiti on it. And I took a picture and then I sent a little email with the picture. The next time I drove by, and it wasn't even a week later, this sign was cleaned so well that this actually looked like a brand new sign. And the only way I knew it wasn't brand new is because I saw little water streaks. If you look so closely, I could not believe how great that worked. So I wanted to give props to Jan Nahorsky Graffiti Abatement. That is exactly the way it's supposed to work in the city of Joliet. I have some notes on the nurses. Your plight is also the entire city and region's plight. I'm not sure what else we can do. Let us know. I'll do as much as I possibly can. It's just horrendous what's happening there. And then one last thing I want to say, special congratulations. My good friend and mentor, Liz Prodich, got a late birthday gift. She became a grandma. So I want to say congratulations, Liz Prodich. You're finally a VACA. And the other thing, as far as the contract for the supervisors union, these are our heroes. They're the bosses of all of our heroes on the streets. And I'm happy with the decision that was made for them, considering how much they do for the city of Joliet. And that concludes my council comments.
Also, I guess I got a few things I need to talk about. Rod, thank you very much. There was some challenges that have never happened in the city of Joliet before that you withstood. Did you do the right thing, the wrong thing? I don't know. I wasn't in your shoes, but you stepped up. You were there. You weren't hiding. You didn't go on vacation. I just give you all the credit in the world for that, and thank you. And I know you have been successful and will be successful with the rest of your venue here. I was fortunate to be invited. I think it was technically a board meeting of Aunt Martha's. There was a board meeting last week at Aunt Martha's at their new facility in Basinger's Pharmacy. This will be the third Aunt Martha's that we have here in Joliet. I did ask about just being down the street from the VNA. Is this really needed? And the statistics that they had on what they've figured out here in Joliet, it's more than needed, that we have that population that's not being served, and this is needed. And obviously, we already talked about Rose Durante passing, and I want to offer my condolences there. So now, because I think I sit next to somebody that definitely cares more than me, there was a hat that was given to me after the parade that someone had lost. So I called or sent emails out to everybody that I knew that was around the city's float, and nobody claimed it. I figured it was one of my grandchildren. So what Ms. Sabera said, you should bring the hat here, put it on, get it on TV, and hopefully some child or some parent will know this is their child, and it will be here in the Lost and Found, which is behind the front desk, I believe. And that's my comment.
All right.
And I'm done.
Well, I have to say, I've never seen Pat Mudden this funny. So he does have a sense of humor. I want to just congratulate my nephew and his fiance, who had an 8.5-pound baby girl at about 10 to 5 this evening. So I'm excited to get home. And also, on a side note, I just want to say I'm not against the police department. My vote was not against the police department. My vote was against the way the whole thing went down. So that's all I have to say. So be well and stay safe, everybody. Get your flu shot.
I would like to say, again, my condolences to the Girani family. It's a terrible thing for them and holiday season as well. Rod, I think you've done a great job for us. You've always come prepared. Of course, there's always something here and there, but every time I asked you a question, you always had the answer. It was not, I'll get back to you. So I appreciate your work. I appreciate your preparedness. So thank you very much for what you've done. I have a question for all of us. I asked Mr. Regis, since that was brought up that the IG report has obviously gotten out to community people, we'd have to have a consensus among us, not vote, just to straw poll, if we would be willing to release that IG report to Greg Peerbolt as the director of the museum. I don't know how you feel about that. I just thought I'd put it out there.
I'm
I
fine
think it's
with
the
it.
fair thing to do.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I thought they had it, because Rails had it, apparently.
We'll send it to you then.
There's more to it.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Well, first, I too would like
Does
to,
Patch have it?
Oh, I don't know.
They have everything else.
I too would like to extend my condolences to the Girani family. Rose was such a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
And it's just difficult to lose a family member like that. So, and I know the obituaries are out, and I believe the wake is Friday at the Farkas Funeral Home, but great family and a great lady, and we're sorry for the loss of theirs. Rod, I want to thank you. He and I kid around a lot that who's going to drink out of the fire hose today, because I don't think anybody realizes what comes at the city manager of a city this size, and it just, every day, it just, somebody owns your time. And Rod has done his very best to be fair, attentive, and mindful of the impact of the decisions on the city, its staff, and its residents. So I wish you many, many thanks for all your help, and we really appreciate that you took your time to do this with us, and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And if I might make a closing comment in my last meeting, thank you to the whole entire council for giving me the opportunity to do this and the faith you put in me. It's been an adventure with you, and it's been an adventure to watch you come together with a new mayor and new council members as well and evolve. And I know the passion and care all of you have for the city and for your constituents. And if I could just encourage you to keep putting that energy in and figuring out how to work best together, because we have a great city here and we can do so much more good with it with your leadership as a group. And then final comment, I just want to say thank you to all the staff that I've had the pleasure of working with for the past 6 months. They do a tremendous job. So thank you all.
Thank you, Rod.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
One like